Here on GoPSUSports.com with Nittany Lion head coach James Franklin. Coach, obviously an exciting time, spring ball about to get started, but first and foremost, maybe just give the fans a little bit of an update on winter conditioning now that that's complete. Maybe what jumped out to you and what impressed you?
It went well. Obviously this is year 3 doing it, so our guys got a pretty good feel of what to expect. You have the incoming freshmen, the mid-semester enrollees that are still adjusting, but it's been good. The winter workouts are about really mental toughness and physical toughness, and trying to teach these guys to push themselves outside of their comfort zone, and they've done a good job of that. They've embraced the competition. They've embraced that they need to push themselves, and it's also gives us a chance to kind of speed up the maturation process. A lot of times you have to wait for guys a year or two to figure that out on their own, and this allows you to kind of speed that process up. So it's been good. Our guys have worked really hard. I know Coach Galt is very pleased with all the results in the strength and conditioning aspect, but they're ready to get out on the field and play.
And then obviously spring ball, a great time for leaders to emerge. I'll start on the defensive side of the ball first. Some senior departures, linebacker Brandon Bell, safety Malik Golden. Tell me a little bit about kind of who you see in terms of defensively kind of really emerging as a leader.
Well, we took a vote yesterday. We did a captain's vote yesterday, which we usually do this time of year. And depending on how the numbers come out, we'll either make decisions now. We typically do 2 on offense, 2 on defense, and 2 on special teams captains. But depending on how it comes out, we may only name 1 now and name the other one after camp, or name none or name 2. We'll just kind of see how that thing works out. But we got a number of guys that have been strong leaders and have played a lot of football. I really don't want to single anyone specifically out right now. But there's a lot of guys that have played a lot of football. I think that's it's a little bit been different in the past with our leadership being not having a lot of older players in our program. Our scholarship numbers were out of whack, and we just didn't have great numbers in our juniors and senior classes, and that's starting to kind of correct itself now. So there's a bunch of guys that are stepping up, but I'm going to be curious to see how the players vote, and then for us, our coaches vote as well. And I want them to vote without seeing the results of what the players do, to see, do the players and the coaches see it the same way? So, that's always kind of interesting.
And then another one of those leaders on the offensive side of the ball, Brian Gaia. Obviously his departure, something you said about the offensive line, just making great strides. What's exciting there about, kind of being able to build on that strength from last year?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit different for the offense. The defense, lost, 3 seniors and guys that played a lot of football. The offense only lost 1. Now, Brian was a tremendous leader for us, but everybody else is back. So I think that's going to come a little bit more natural now on the offensive side of the ball. Just got a lot of guys that have already kind of filled that role already. So it'll also be interesting, just the competition at that position. We've gone from the offensive line kind of being a challenge when we got here to now having a chance to be a strength from a depth perspective, from a size, and from a talent, and from an experience standpoint. So I think to think about Saquon Barkley behind maybe one of the better offensive lines in the Big Ten now, that's an exciting thing to think about.
And speaking of not just Saquon Barkley, but the entire offense, just so explosive this year. What's been the most exciting thing for you to be able to see this already exciting offense continue to get stronger?
Well, I think it's, we felt, obviously, when I talked to Joe about coming in and talking to Brent about taking over, we felt like we had pieces of the puzzle. I thought we had, recruited well and evaluated well and developed well, so that we were in a position in year 3 where, we felt like we could take a real step. I think defensively, maybe some areas statistically we weren't as good, but overall I thought we played better winning football on the defensive side of the ball. Big plays at critical times in the game, those types of things. And then offensively, I felt like obviously when me and Joe talked about him coming here that it made sense. His system made sense with the mobility we had at the quarterback position, with a still evolving offensive line. Felt really talented at wide receiver and at tight end and running back. So a lot of the pieces of the puzzle were there. And Joe will tell you, Joe's got a good scheme and got a good feel, but it's only going to go as far as the players. And it's a great blend of the talent that we have and the depth that we have. And then, Joe and the rest of the offensive staff putting those guys in position to be successful.
And then obviously another area of significant improvement this year, special teams. What's impressed you there?
Well, I think the exciting thing is that we have you could make the argument, two of the better punter-kicker combinations in the Big Ten, and maybe the country. The consistency that Tyler kicked with this year, and Blake Gillikin really coming in and being able to swing a field position and pin people deep. Those guys taking another step. What we have to do is we have to get the long snap situation resolved. And that's going to be an important battle of not only what we have in our program. Kyle Vasey is the guy who's done a lot in practice for us, but hasn't done it in games. And then Jan Johnson is a guy that's been working on it, kind of on his own, training himself. So we'll see. I've heard good things. We'll see how he is during spring ball. And then we recruited 2 young men that are coming in, but you'd prefer not to depend on a true freshman.
And then off the field a little bit, Blake Gillikin, obviously a 4.0 student, Schreier Honor College among 50 Nittany Lions, earning that 3.0 GPA. What's impressive to you about the hard work that the guys have been, putting in the classroom as well?
Well, I think it's 15 freshmen that got a 3.0, but I think we had like 51 overall. But Blake's done extremely well, kind of really in every area. Came in and was a freshman All-American punter. Like you mentioned, got into the Schreier's Honors College, which is really impressive. I mean, Penn State is difficult to get into just in general, let alone to get accepted in an honors college and then to get a 4.0. And I met with him last week. I have my end of the year player meetings with every player on the team, and he's pretty confident he's going to get a 4.0 again. So, he's a guy that prepares really hard, works real hard. He's a talented guy, both physically and mentally, but he works at it, and so far he's been able to maximize this opportunity and this experience here, and I think the sky's the limit for him.
And then finally, the blue-white game, culmination of the spring football, obviously an exciting time for fans in the Penn State football community to get together. What's exciting to you about, that upcoming event?
Well, I think blue-white, as people know better than me, the game is a part, but just a small part of the entire weekend. It's an opportunity to come back to State College, almost like a homecoming type experience in the spring. There's all types of activities and things going on campus, downtown. It's a great opportunity from the university perspective as well. A lot of meetings going on, but more than anything, it's an opportunity to get together with your buddies, have a hot dog, have a hamburger, have some other beverages, and enjoy the game, and kind of get that feeling about what it was like to be a student here, or get that feeling about what it was like to kind of enjoy the season that we had last year. But also, I think one of the things that's kind of special right now is there's a lot of excitement about what Penn State is right now and where we're going. So I think we can make a real statement of the stadium packed. I think 2 years ago I think we were around 75,000. I think last year we were at 65,000. So you'd love to see us get over that. And people say, well, spring attendance isn't that big of a deal. The game's free, all those types of things. But I think it makes a statement. I think it makes a statement across the country that football is really important at Penn State. I think it makes a statement to our recruits that you're going to come and be able to play in one of the best atmospheres in all of college football. And then I think it also shows, respect to our team and all the hard work and sacrifices that they've made, that this community appreciates them. And I know our team and our coaches really appreciate the fans and the support that we get. So it's a really neat experience that kind of partner together with the community for the Blue White Weekend.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, and we're looking forward to spring ball officially kicking off.
Thank you.